Hello students, previous session we discussed regarding the characteristic features of Indian Constitution. After discussing characteristic features of Indian Constitution, another significant characteristic feature relating to the Indian Constitution, that is incorporation of list of fundamental rights. So these rights are incorporated in part 3 of the Constitution from article 12 to 35 deals with list of fundamental or constitutional rights. In this regard, the framers of the Constitution derived inspiration from the Bills of Rights of the Constitution of USA. So, the rights are derived from Constitution of USA. So, the rights contain a comprehensive list. So, there are 6 constitutional rights are there. Those rights are in the nature of justiciable rights. They are guaranteed by the Constitution to all the citizens. It means all the citizens are having the right to exercise those constitutional rights. They uphold the equality and the dignity of the individual. All the rights protects the interest of the individual and upholds their dignity, which are most essential for their all-round development. Rights are very essential for the overall development of the individual personality. For that purpose, they uphold the equality and the dignity of the individual. Then, coming to the classification of fundamental rights, from Article 14 to Article 32 of the Indian Constitution deals with list of fundamental rights, in that the first right, that is the right to equality, from Article 14 to 18 deals with all equality right. Then coming to the second one, right to freedom, from Article 19 to Article 22 deals with list of freedom rights. Then the third right, right against exploitation, from Article 23 to 24 deals with list of rights in respect of the exploitation. Then the fourth one, right to freedom of religion, from Article 25 to 28 deals with all freedom in respect of religion. Then next one, cultural and educational right, that is the fifth right, protects the interest of the minorities by granting cultural and educational rights, from Article 29 to 30 deals with all these rights. Then the last right, it is in the nature of the remedy. So here, right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, educational rights are protected under the roof of the Constitution. The Constitution has protected those rights by providing certain remedies. The last right is in the nature of protecting all 5 rights. The sixth right is known as right to constitutional remedies. If any of the right, from equality right, freedom right, exploitation right, religious right, educational rights got violated, then we can invoke, that is the Article 32, then we can get the proper remedy. For that purpose, the last right is in the nature of right to constitutional remedies. Originally, the Constitution provided for 7 fundamental rights. Earlier, before the incorporation of list of rights, the Constitution of India incorporated total 7 rights. Of these, 44th Amendment of 1978 eliminated the right to property from the list of fundamental rights. Earlier, there were 7 constitutional rights were existed in the Indian Constitution, but by way of 44th Amendment Act of 1978 deleted the right to property from the list of fundamental rights. Now, the right to property is not considered as a constitutional right. It is made a legal right under Article 300A in Part 12th of the Constitution. It has deleted from the Article 32, 31 and asserted under Article 300 in Part 11th of the Constitution. At present, there are 6 fundamental rights. Earlier, there were 7 fundamental rights were incorporated in the Indian Constitution, but by way of the Amendment Act of 1978, now there are only 6 rights are there in the Indian Constitution. Fundamental rights, the nature of the rights, these rights can be suspended during the national emergency and external aggression except the rights guaranteed by Article 20 and 21. It means that we are having the right to exercise all constitutional rights in a normal course, but during the time of the emergency some rights are suspended, only certain rights are kept open. Those rights are Article 20 and 21, right to liberty and right against right to liberty, that has been kept open. So except Article 20 and the 21, remaining all rights are suspended during the time of the emergency. Then coming to the first right, because the first right, right to equality, deals with from Article 14 to Article 18. So in this regard, Article 14 to 18 deals with all equality right. So here equality ensures all citizens are equal. So in that sense, Article 14 guarantees that all are equal before the law and equal protection of law within the territory of India. So it stands for providing equal opportunities to all the people of India. Then Article 15 prohibits discrimination against any citizen on the ground of religion, race, caste, gender, or place of birth. So Article 15 stands for removal of all distinction, whether on the ground of religion, on the ground of race, caste, all are equal. All can avail all the facilities assured by the Constitution. Then coming to the Article 16, all are equal rights to get the equality of opportunity in matters of employment. So fulfilling the conditions. If a candidate fulfills the condition, then he is eligible for getting the job. That it means that Article 16 guarantees equality of opportunity in matters of employment. All are entitled to get the service from the government. Then Article 17 states that practice of untouchability in any form punishable under offense. So Article 17 prohibits discrimination of any ground is prohibited, especially removal of untouchability and its practice made it an offense. All are equal. If the person is suffering from any of the diseases, or if the person belongs to any low class, he is also having the equal privileges, equal opportunities enjoyed by the higher class of the people. So this way here Article 17 removes all kinds of untouchability. Then coming to the Article 18, to bring the equality among all the people, so certain rewards or title or honor are abolished. That is removal of title. Article 18 states that no title not being a military or academic distinction shall be conferred by the state. Citizens of India are prohibited from accepting title from foreign states without prior permission of the union government. No person is having the right to get any honor from the other nation except with the permission of the central government. He can get the honor or the title, but except military and the academic titles, remaining all titles are abolished. So these all are the rights fall under the category of right to equality. So the right to equality treats all persons equally irrespective of any caste, any creed, by providing the equal employment opportunities, by removal of all kinds of exploitation, providing removal of the title. So it protects the interest of the people under the one roof. Then coming to the second right, constitutional right, that is the right to freedom. Already we come to know that rights are very essential. Without the rights it is very difficult to live in a society, or we can't develop our own personality. So for that purpose, right to freedom, that is Article 19, guarantees 6 fundamental freedom. Those are very essential. So first one, freedom of speech and expression. Every person is having the right to express. Every person is having the right to express his opinion by way of verbal, by way of visual, by way of using any platform relating to the matter regarding the organization of the government, but within the limitations laid down by the Constitution. Then coming to the every person is having the right to assemble peacefully and without arms. Assemble is given. So assemble for peaceable purpose. Every person, so group of person can assemble for any purpose, but the purpose must be for the sake of good of society. That assembly accepted by the constitution. Then coming to the freedom to form association or the union. So every group of persons are having the freedom to form their association as well as trade union as well as a student union. Then coming to the another important rights fall under the category of the right to freedom, that is every person is having the right to move within the part of the territory, followed by next one, every person is having the right not only to move within the part of the territory, in the same way the person is having the right to settle down in any part of the territory of India. Then the last right fall under the right to freedom, that is freedom to practice any profession or to carry any occupation, trade or business. Every person is having the freedom to accept, to propagate any religion according to his any profession, occupation or trade according to his own conscience. So these six fall under the category of right to freedom. Then coming to the Article 20, so that Article 20 is kept open during the time of the emergency. 20 and the 21 kept open during the time of the emergency. Remaining all rights are suspended. So what is the significance of that right? To that effect, Article 20 states protection in respect of conviction for offences which covers. So if a person has committed any of the crime, so the person is known as offender. The person who commits the crime, he is known as the offender. So he is having the right to bring before the court of law. He can get the protection from the court. So that protection in respect of conviction for offences which covers. So first one, no person shall be prosecuted and punished for the same offence more than once. So here, if the person is convicted, the punishment has already casted, then here the crime is ended. So again on the same cause of freeze cause, the case should not be reopened. So if the case has been reopened, then the affected person is having the right to bring before the court of law, then he can get the justice. For that purpose, this right has been kept open during the time of the emergency. Then the second one fall under the category of Article 20. No person who is accused of any offence shall be compelled to a witness against himself. Take for example, if a person has committed the crime, so then he can't give in his own case as a witness. Sometimes the authority will misuse the power and make the accused, if he has not committed the crime, then they will force that he only committed the crime. So for that purpose, in his own case, the accused is exempted from giving the evidence. So if the evidence has been taken by way of force by the authority, then the accused is having the right to bring before the court of law, then he can get the justice. Then Article 21. So Article 20, right, in respect of offender or the conviction for offences. Then Article 20 states that no person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to law. So here the Article 21 is also kept open during the time of the emergency. Article 21 states right to life and the liberty. Every person is having the right to live in a good condition. The state is having no right to take any person's life and liberty. So unless he has committed any crime, if the person has committed the crime, the state is having the power to take his life. If the person has not committed any crime, then he is having the right to get before the court of law, he can get the justice. Article 21A states free and compulsory education to all the children of the age 6 to 14 years. Then Article 22 states about protection against arbitrary arrest and detention. No person can be arrested without mentioning the reason for his arrest. So these all are the rights fall under the category of right to freedom. Right to freedom followed by freedom of speech and expression, freedom to assemble peaceably and without arms, freedom to form associations and or unions, freedom to move freely throughout the territory of India, freedom to reside and settle in any part of the territory of India, freedom to practice any profession or to carry on any occupation, trade or the business, followed by Article 20 states or protects in respect of conviction for offences. Then Article 21 states no person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to law. Then Article 21 subclause A states free and compulsory education to all children below the age of 14 years. That means 6 to 14 years they are entitled to get free education. Then the last freedom right, that is Article 22, states that state about protection against arbitrary arrest and the detention. If the person has been illegally arrested, the arrested person is having the right to bring before the court of law. He can get released back. So these are the rights protect, safeguard the freedom of the individual towards the development of his own personality. Then coming to the next right, that is the third right, that is right against exploitation. Article 23 states that prohibition of forced labor and traffic in human beings. Article 24 states the prohibition of employment of children in factories, mines. So, exploitation means no person not can't exploit any person illegally. That means removal of the bonded labor, removal of the jamindari system. If the person is working under any of the master, then the person is entitled to get the remuneration for the service he has rendered. He can't be exploited by the master. So to protect the interest of the exploited class of the people, to provide the benefits, to provide the opportunities, this right has been incorporated by the Indian Constitution to protect the exploited class of the people. Even the exploited class of the people are also having the right to get all the facilities enjoyed by the other class of the people. When they worked under their master or in any organization, they are entitled to get the remuneration. They can't be denied. If the authority denied, then they are having the right to bring before the court of law. They can get the proper wages. So that way here, article right against exploitation prohibit the bonded labor, the jamindari system, the beggar or child marriage, child labor. So all these, because if the during their childhood, if the children are working in the factories, they will be habituated for the illegal activities. So for that purpose, to protect the interest of the children or protecting the interest of the health, that removal of the child labor has been incorporated by the Indian Constitution under the Article 24 states the prohibition of employment of the children in factories. Then coming to the next one, that is right to freedom of religion. Right to freedom of religion, Article 25 provides for freedom of conscience, free profession, practice and propagation of religion. So here Article 25 protects the interest of the individual. Any person is having the right to accept, propagate any religion according to his own conscience. That is the freedom of religion. He is having the liberty to accept, to propagate, to incorporate any religion according to his own inner will. State can't interfere in his own personal matter or religious matter. So this here Article 26 provides every religious section thereof shall have the right to establish and maintain institution for religious and charitable purpose. So here it is the duty of the state to provide or maintain institution for religious and charitable purpose. The state has to provide certain lands for the construction of the charitable institutions as well as religious institutions. Then to maintain its own affairs in religion. So every religious institution is having the right to run their own institution by imparting their own language for the preservation of their own religion. So then to own and acquire movable and immovable property. Every religious institution is having the right to acquire movable or immovable property, to administer such laws in accordance with the law. But all the institutions are run according to the rules and regulations laid down in the Indian Constitution. So Article 27 states that no person shall be compelled to pay any tax the proceeded of which are specifically appropriated in payment of expenses for the promotion or maintenance of any particular religion or religious denominations. That means the propagation of the religion, for running the religious institution, we need not pay for the tax. That means exemption of the tax for running the religious institutions, as well as the state is providing the lands for running the religious institution. This way the state is protecting the religion. So for that purpose, the Indian constitution has adopted the secularistic principles for removal of all kinds of distinction existed in the language or religion. So these all are the rights comes under the article 25 to 28. Then article 28 deals with no religious instruction shall be imparted in any education institution wholly maintained out of state funds. Then no person attending any education institutions recognized by the state or receiving aid out of the state funds can be forced to take part in any religious instructions or that may be imparted in such institution, or to attend any religious worship that may be conducted in such institution unless consented by the guardians. So remaining we'll discuss in the next session regarding remaining fundamental rights, that is the cultural and educational rights. Then right to constitutional remedies. What are the remedies are laid down in the Constitution of India regarding protecting, safeguarding constitutional rights?